Alright, so here's my comprehensive review of the Beard Eye Guy's portable beard eye table. Alright, I want to preface by saying that I'm not sponsored by the company. I'm just a beard eye enthusiast who likes the game. So the table comes in a nicely packaged box. It comes with 3 table pieces and a carrying case. Now my first impression was that it seemed like a pretty solid table, but my monkey brain couldn't figure out how to properly attach the middle piece, and I actually ended up breaking the table almost immediately. This little guy popped off, which attaches right here. This is one of the main clamps. But luckily, it was a super easy fix, and the latch that broke off screwed right back in. Now for the life of me, I still couldn't figure out why the table wasn't flush, so I decided to put it away, but then these bad boys fell out.
Huh?
That makes so much more sense. So I took the table out to the beach to try again, this time with the trusty connector pieces, and was pretty stoked with how easy it came together. I extended the legs to the highest setting, and it took about 6 minutes to set it up by myself. It was such an improvement with the connector pieces. Alright, now the part that everybody wants to know. How are the bounces? Really quickly, before we get to the bounces, here are the specs of the table. The website said its regulation size, which would be 8 feet by 4 feet, but it was slightly smaller than a regulation table. I measured the width to be about 3 feet 8 inches and the length to be about 7 feet 4.5 inches. The height of the table, though, felt pretty good at its highest setting. I'm 6 feet tall, and the table didn't feel like it was too low. I didn't weigh the table, but it was probably around 60 pounds. It felt decently heavy, but it is made from good quality plywood, so that totally makes sense. The setup time was around 6 minutes. I'd say 60 seconds is a little ambitious, but still super easy setup. The surface of it is definitely spill-proof. It didn't seem like if I was to spill anything on it, anything would get soaked into the wood. And it was definitely portable, fit in my car super easy. So on to the bounces. I was pretty stoked about the bounces, to be honest. This definitely was the biggest selling point of the table. It didn't have too much pop, there wasn't any dead bounces. It was very similar to any other dye table I've tossed on, and easily better than a plastic table. Here's a couple more bounces in real time. I've definitely played on my fair share of good and bad tables, and I'd say all these bounces were pretty playable. Overall, really solid table. Definitely a good option if you want something that's portable and don't want to lug around a huge piece of plywood. The total cost was $369, and if you compare that to the cost of building your own table, it's probably a bit pricier, but if you take into account the cost of supplies, tools, and labor, I'm guessing it's probably somewhat comparable. But again, the biggest selling point of this table is the fact that it's portable and has great bounces. The teardown took about 5 minutes, and I'm pretty stoked about being able to travel around and film some beard eye content. If you have any other questions about the table, let me know in the comments, and if you want to follow my journey, I'm going to be making tons more beard eye content. So if you want to see what the beard eye scene is like in Los Angeles, subscribe and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. That's it for me. Dye up.